back to this episode of Fireside Chat. On this episode, we're going to go over how you can homestead for free. Now, you may be thinking, how can you homestead for free? I've got land to buy, I got fences to put up, chicken houses to do, goat barns, etc., etc. Well, you're right. You're going to have an upfront cost. But after that upfront cost, and you have the infrastructure, you have everything set up, I can show you how to homestead for free. If you go back in my Fireside Chat series and go back to episode 7, how to homestead A to Z start to finish, that will give you the footprint on how to homestead for free. That will get you going. The next part, after you have everything done there, is going to be going into business. If you want to homestead for free, the easiest way to do that is either A, do the barter and trade system, or B, go into your own homestead business. Now, I have approximately 150 animals here on the homestead, and I spend about $250 a month, and that gets me 750 pounds of grain and lay pellets, and that also gives me, I believe, 6 bales of hay, or 5 bales of hay, I take that back, 5 bales of hay to feed 1 bale each week for the goats, the rabbits, the chickens, etc., etc. Now, I have done some research, and I recommend you do the same thing in your area, and look for a co-op. I found a co-op close by me, within 10 miles of the feed store that I was using, and I can lower that cost to $200. So that saves me $50 a month at the feed store. So that $50 I can put into something else. Now, I have chickens that come April, they'll be laying. I have small pullets, and that's the majority of my chickens. They're coming to lay the end of March, first part of April. So by mid-April, I should be getting anywhere from 50 to 60 eggs a week. Now, my chickens, I've already done the math, and right now I can sell 20 dozen eggs a week. I have not advertised going out trying to sell eggs. It's all word of mouth. Somebody asked me, hey, how's the homestead doing while I'm out at the hot springs or out at Home Depot or wherever else I'm at. And somebody say, oh, you got chickens? Do you sell eggs? And that starts a rapport, and that starts a new customer. What I've done, I've went ahead, I made business cards, so I hand them out to people that want my number. And like I said, right now I can sell 20 dozen eggs a week. So the math I've done, come April, I'll get 50 to 60 eggs a day. That will break out to an enormous amount of eggs. My math, I did 40 eggs a day. So I'm being conservative. I'm cutting at least 10 to 20 eggs off a day, just in case, my chickens are off, I have chickens in molt, or chickens are sick, or whatnot, or they just don't lay eggs. So that way, 40 eggs a day is plenty of space from what I should be getting. So you take 40 eggs a day times 30 days in a month. I know 31, I'll get another 40 eggs, so that's more eggs. But I just looked at 30 days. The average of 30 days, so that comes out to 1,200 eggs. So 1,200 divided by 12 comes out to 100 dozen a month. So basically, I would need to sell 25 dozen eggs a week. And that would come out, I sell my eggs, chicken eggs, for $3 a dozen. So 3 times 100 dozen, that's $300. And like I said, I already have 20 dozen sold a week. So all I need is 5 more customers. So right there, if I'm getting 50 to 60 eggs, I can sell a lot more. But all I got to squeeze out is 5 more customers, and I get that $300 a month. Like I said, my feed is going down to 200. And what you got to consider is That feed feeds the chickens, it feeds the roosters, it feeds the ducks, the turkeys, the rabbits, and the goats. So that's 6 animal groups that I have out of that 150 that will be fed by the chicken eggs. Now, you say, okay, you're spending $200 in feed, you make $300 a month. What about winter? Winter, your chickens aren't laying eggs. Now, yes, you can put lights, heaters, all of that fancy stuff in your coop. If you do the research, it's actually not healthy to do that for your chickens. I'd rather my chickens have that resting period through the winter and get the eggs in the spring, summer, and fall. Now, the difference in winter to spring to summer to fall and the eggs starting and stopping, you're thinking, hey, that's going to cost you money. Not necessarily. Spring, summer, and fall, if you watch my video, I'm going to have things that are going to supplement. Things that I'm going to do will be the garden. I'll have the garden come spring. I'm gardening up in my bathroom right now, and you can see videos. I'm getting cucumbers and green beans and bell peppers and zucchinis during the winter. So I'm feeding some of that to the animals. During the spring, summer, fall, when the garden is going full blast and I've got food galore, you know, I'm going to have 30, 40 zucchini plants, squash plants, cucumber plants, bell peppers. I'll have more food than I can eat, more food than I can sell, and more food than my animals can eat. And hopefully, if I do everything right and I can get everything built, all the hugelkultur beds this year, I will be able to start making tables, which you will see in future videos. I will be taking pressure-treated 2x4s and making long tables about 1 foot wide and running screen down in between. What that screen will do will act as my drying table. So when it is a calm day, not windy, because I don't want dust and everything blowing on the food, but I'll take a mandolin, which slices food and vegetables really thin, lay it out on the screen. It will dry in the sun. I'll do that for a day to 2 days till I know it's hard like a potato chip. And I'll start packaging that food away in 55-gallon drums for this next winter. So, yes, my chickens won't be laying eggs in the winter, but I'll have food coming in. Or I'll have food that's preserved and stored for the winter. Now, yes, I probably won't have enough food this year to get them through the entire winter. So you're thinking, you gotta buy food. Yes, I'm gonna have to buy food. But during the spring, summer, and fall, they're eating out of the garden all day. So I'm not spending $200 spring, summer, and fall a month on the animals. So therefore, if I'm only spending, say, $100 a month, then I'm making $200 profit. So then that $200 profit makes up for the winter. That's one thing. I don't have to do another single thing. I don't have to sell vegetables. I don't have to sell bee or honey when I get bees next year. I don't have to sell pork. You know, I don't have to do any other selling if I don't want to. So that goes into a business now. My eggs covers my hobby, covers my farm, covers my homestead. I put a lot of money up front into fencing, the chicken coop, the goat barn. I bought some of my animals. 75% of my animals I got for free. If you look at other episodes, I've explained you go on Craigslist in the fall towards winter, put an ad saying you're taking free animals. Boom. People have too many chickens, too many goats, etc. You get these animals for free. Yes, some of the chickens might be old, but hey, you butcher out those chickens, make chicken noodle soup or chicken stews or chilies or things like that. That saves you money. You know, $6, $7, $8 for a chicken at the grocery store. You just got a fresh chicken for free. You don't have to feed it. You go ahead, butcher it out. You got yourself a free dinner. Another way of saving money. So, if you get enough chickens, you have your egg business going. So your egg business covers the farm. after you have the infrastructure. So you're like, hey, I got this 9 to 5 job. I want to get out of it. That's when you go full homestead. The garden, I'm going to be selling vegetables this year. I'm putting in an orchard. I'll be selling fruit in a couple years. I'll be getting honeybees and pigs next year. There's more profit. So overall, you can homestead for free. You just got to look at what you want to do. And if you don't want to put all that money into infrastructure in the beginning, don't. It's all in what your preference is. If you want a nice looking homestead that doesn't look like a garbage dump or look like a junkyard or anything like that, put the money into it. Do everything right the first time. With me, I went ahead, I put 6-inch insulation in the roof of my barns and my chicken coops. I put 4-inch insulation in the walls and 3/4-inch plywood inside and outside. Which later this year you will see I'll get all the seams tarred so water doesn't get into the wood. And then I'll go ahead and get the buildings painted so everything's sealed up tight and done for next winter. I also have some more insulation that I need to get done. So we're going to see if I can get all that done this year because it's going to be a lot of big projects this year. I got to get the gardens in. I got to get the fruit trees in. I got to get the dirt brought in. I got concrete work and walls to build. I got to get a roof put on over top the hugelkultur bed so I have more rain catchment for this next winter. So we're going to see what we're going to get accomplished. But back to the infrastructure. If you don't want to spend the money and you want to rig it and do what you can with no money, it's possible. Go on Craigslist. Go to your local newspapers. Talk to people in your community. People throw out scrap wood all the time. You can normally find pallets for free all over the place. You can get tires for free. When I did gardening at my neighbor's, he had stacks of tires, 4 or 5 tires high. You fill the whole thing with dirt, boom, pop a cucumber plant in it, or pop a butternut squash plant in it, or zucchini, and your plants grow. You got a garden bed for free. All you did was you got tires for free, and the only thing you might have bought is the dirt. If you don't have good dirt on your property, you might have to buy dirt. If you have good land, dirt's free, tires free, then all you got to do is come up with seeds. Sometimes you can get seeds for free from people. Other times, you're talking $1.50 and you've got seeds to last you the next 6 years. One zucchini plant will feed one person all year long because you have so many zucchinis coming off. Same with squash, cucumbers, etc., etc. Another thing to consider that I've considered is do what you can with what you have. One thing you have to learn when you get homesteading, and I'm learning this, hard way because I push myself, but you get chickens, and then, you want ducks, and then you want goats, you want pigs, you want horses, you want cows, you want everything. You gotta pace yourself. Do not burn yourself out. With me, I tell everybody I'm an alien. I don't get burned out. I'll be doing this homesteading until the day I die or until the day I'm too crippled up and can't do something. Don't burn yourself out. Don't get all this stuff and then, you have the headache of I can't do it. The biggest thing I'm contemplating right now is getting my milk goats. I've been looking at getting my milk goats this fall, and next month I'm going to go out. I'm going to call a lady that has a goat farm and go out and look at the goats, talk to her, get her ideas. Because once you get an animal, milk goats, milk cows, etc., you're married. You're there 100% of the time, morning and evening. You have to milk those animals, or they back up and it can cause them problems and actually lead to death of your animals by not milking them. So I'll be doing that probably next month. I'm going to see if I can if she'll give me permission to come out to her farm and look at her goats and pick her brain on what she thinks and things like that. Um, if you want to do basic homesteading, the lazy homesteader like I'm doing, get your garden in. Number one, do your garden. You won't have, you water it in the evenings when you come home or in the morning before you go to work. Or if you're like me and you're a homesteader, you can do it anytime you want. Then the only thing you got to do is go out and pick your vegetables. Go out with your dinner plate. Boom. Fresh salads. Go out, pick a zucchini, slice it up, batter it up, throw it in the deep fryer, or slice it up and throw it on the grill with some seasoning for, fresh food. Gardening, you can't go wrong. Even if you only get 2 or 3 zucchinis, you're saving money. If you have a good garden and it's successful, then you're having vegetables all spring, summer, and fall and not buying from grocery store. Veggies are so damn expensive at grocery store, and it saves you money. Another thing, with the milk, like I said, you're going to be stuck there. The garden, you won't be. Chickens, you can make feeders. I have a video that I made an automatic chicken feeder out of a Sterilite tub and some PVC pipe. It's an automatic chicken feeder, holds 150 pounds. It's been, I want to say, 3 weeks, and there's still almost 100 pounds of feed in there because it's not being wasted. The chickens eat what they want, and that's that. So, do I have to be here in the morning and in the evening to feed the animals? Yes and no. The goats, they can't get to the chicken feeder because they ate the whole damn thing when I had a bat before I fixed it. But the chickens, the ducks, the turkeys, the rabbits, they all can get in the chicken coop. They all can eat out of that feeder. So if I'm not home in the evening because I'm out having a beer with a friend and shooting some pool, or out at the hot springs, or go out to dinner, I don't have that worry. I have hay that is in the pen all the time. I have 1 bale I put in every week. It takes approximately 8 to 9 days for the 3 goats and the rabbits and the chickens to eat that bale. So there's always leftovers. There's always part of a bale in there, if not a whole bale and a part. So no matter what, if I'm here or not, it's a lazy homestead. The animals can eat as they please. I'm not worried about it. And like I said, with my egg business, I'm getting into where it's not costing me money. My eggs by mid-April will be coming in full bloom. I'll be making $300+ a month, and my feed bill will disappear. It will be covered by the eggs. It's an important thing to do when you're homesteading. You don't want to spend all this money. Lady that I just got a free rooster from was explaining to me how she can't believe somebody my age is figuring out how to make an ecosystem farming and homesteading the way I'm doing. And she said the sad part is all these homesteaders and big farmers go bankrupt. They lose everything. They lose the land, they go into debt, they lose their house, they lose everything they have. And I mean, look, research. Farmers and homesteaders have gone bankrupt because they don't do the research properly and they don't do it affordably. I have 150 animals. Cost me $250 a month prior to learning about this co-op, which I'll be switching to the co-op to save money. Luckily, I have $1,000 a month that I get every month, and that I'm using part of that money. Now, I'm trying to build this house. I'm trying to get this house finished. And that $250 was going into my house. It was going into building my upstairs, plumbing my upstairs. My garden tub upstairs still isn't plumbed. I don't have my flooring done. I still have plywood. I haven't done tongue and groove. All the cinder blocks here are still showing. I haven't had money to get mortar and stucco mix and make it Adobe style so it looks clean and nice, like a home in the city. So it's not everything's rough and looks like a construction site. And that's the problem. Farmers and homesteaders, like with me, I got 150 animals and I didn't think this through. And that was a big mistake. I'm spending $250 a month that I shouldn't be spending. Before I got animals, I should have done what I said in Fireside Chat 7. I should have built as many roofs or catchment systems to catch all the rainwater to be able to do a large garden. I should have had the large garden built. This spring, summer, and fall is going to cover my animals, and into the winter, I'll be able to feed my animals from the garden. If I would have done a garden before I had animals, I wouldn't have $250 feed bill. And that's where homesteaders and farmers screw up royally. They go in too deep, too fast, too hard, and then it's like, I need $100 here, I need $200 here, I need $1,000 here, then I just got more animals here, and before you know it, you've racked up $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 bills, and you still have your mortgage, you still have your utility bills, car insurance, etc., etc. And then they get behind on payments. Or they get to the point they can't feed the animals and they have to get rid of the animals. And if it's during peak season, you can't sell the animals. So then they're losing, they're getting rid. Or they have to butcher all the animals out and put it in their freezer. That saves them money for, however long that meat lasts in the freezer until they consume it. Then they have no animals. They have no fresh eggs coming in. They have no fresh chicken meat, duck meat, anything coming in. They lose the land in bankruptcy, in foreclosure. They have no garden. They have no fresh vegetables. And it's just a downhill spiral, and it's just horrible. And that's why I made Fireside Chat 7. I want everybody to learn how to homestead right, do it efficiently, do it properly, do your research, have everything in place. Infrastructure, food sources, the whole 9 yards. Then you don't have the hardship of hundreds and thousands of dollars going into something that you don't need to be spending that money. And then, everybody goes to a grocery store. So how you should look at it is how I'm doing with my chickens. I have not advertised. I do give out the new business cards I got in, and I tell people, but I'm not selling yet. I'll put ads on Craigslist and the local paper, put out my business cards at different stores, things like that, in the future when I have the production. But what you should be looking at is getting into it where every person goes to the grocery store. So potentially every person is a customer because that person has to buy food. They buy eggs, they buy milk, they buy bread, they buy vegetables, etc., etc. So every person that you meet is a potential customer. The only thing you got to do is let them try your product. And that's what I'm going to be doing with my pigs. Homesteady, which is a YouTube channel I'm subscribed to. On there, he has little packets of bacon that he hands out to people that come, the plumber, the electrician, or friends or family, or etc., etc. He'll give out a free sample of bacon, let them try it, and like he said, they try fresh bacon that doesn't have all the preservatives and chemicals and hormones in it, and the people come back. That's what I'm going to do. I've got somebody that wants to try duck eggs. I'm not going to sell 2 duck eggs to them. I'm going to give them 2 duck eggs. They can try the eggs. If they like the eggs, then boom, they'll start buying duck eggs from me. If not, they're buying 3 dozen chicken eggs a week from me. So they're a customer no matter what. And it's just, you got to get in that rhythm of You don't have to work the rat race. You don't have to be part of society in the sense of chasing everything. You know, we're taught in society from our parents, from our grandparents, going all the way back. You know, you need that 2-story house, you need that white picket fence, you need the 2 cars, you need a wife and 2 kids, and all these things, right? And who are you impressing? You're impressing the neighbor that has loud parties that annoys the hell out of you. You're trying to impress your coworkers that as soon as they walk around the corner, you're like, hey, that guy's a prick. You know, I wish he would get fired. Or you're trying to impress your boss that, you know, makes you work overtime or doesn't give you the days off to do certain things you want to do. You got to break through. You got to get through the mentality that you're not here on this planet, you know, just to pay bills. You're not here on this planet just to impress people. Why are you trying to impress people that you don't even like? You know, you don't need that fancy car. Why do you need that fancy car? Oh, because it's a symbol. Okay, so you got a symbol to show all these people that you don't even know. Yay, I'm driving down the road in a Lamborghini and everybody's looking at me. Are you ever going to see those people again on the highway? Probably not. Are you ever going to talk to those people? Probably not. You just think you're big and bad because you have a Lamborghini. My thought, I just turned 30. I've been retired come April. This is February. Come April will be 6 years I've been retired. I'm almost self-sufficient where I have fresh eggs, fresh veggies, fresh meat, and in the next couple years, fruit and honey. My house is paid for. My land's paid for. And I'm not in debt. So I think that's more important than driving a Lamborghini and working 40 hours a week for the next 40, 50, 60 years until I'm crippled up and then I retire and then I roll over and die. I can't enjoy life. Right now, I can wake up 10, 11 o'clock. I can go to the hot springs all day. Last year in 2016, I took a 3-month vacation and went and saw a family. Went out to the beach and did different things on the East Coast. You know, you can't do that if you're working for the next 50, 60 years. You might get a week off. You might get 2 weeks off for a vacation. But 3 months at a time, good luck with that. You know, break through that mentality. Get a little bit smarter. Try homesteading. Like I said in other videos, it doesn't take much. Start a small garden. You know, dig up a little piece of that green grass in your yard that does nothing for you. It costs you money. You water that grass. You mow that grass. Or you hire somebody to mow that grass. You trim the edges. You know, you irrigate it. You aerate it in the spring or fall. You spend all this money in the city to be like, hey, look at me. I got a green yard. I got a yard full of lush green grass, and it does nothing. You spend all that money on it. You know, think about what that whole yard, if it was nothing but vegetables, would do for you. Think about if it was fruit trees, what it would do for you. It's things like that you got to think about. So with that, I'm going to say, break through that mentality, have a good night, and hopefully you guys decide to change your mentality and do something about it.
Live happy, live free. That's the only way to be.